What we're in right now is the worst state COD Zombies has ever been in. Or at least that's what I've seen online almost every single day for the past month. But is this really the case, and why are people even saying this in the first place? Well, if I had to describe Black Ops 6 Zombies, it would be 2 steps forward, 1 step back. There's some absolutely iconic returning elements and game-changing new features, but they're just always seemingly paired alongside something that's just downright disappointing. So today, we're looking at the good, the bad, and most importantly, the one small event that completely changed the legacy of Black Ops 6 Zombies, all to show why those who hate the game and those who love it are both kind of right. Now we're starting things off by setting the clock back to Season 3 launch. Like I said, it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And Season 3's launch had some of the best content we've seen in years. We started things off with the new map Shattered Veil. It had an OG classic style quest with cryptic puzzles, a decent difficulty, and an actual challenging, awesome boss fight. There was a bunch of stuff to discover and do within the map. There was great visuals. There was actual story development happening within the cutscenes. We finally got a new special round that was such a nice change of pace. And they somehow also fixed one of the biggest issues with the game, that being boss spam, and it's what I and many others believe to be the best map ever released during this new modern era. But it wasn't just that, we got double tap back. This is something we've been waiting for almost a decade, and made certain weapon classes like marksman rifles, snipers, pistols, and hell, even some SMGs and ARs just so much more fun to use. We had some actual cool new guns added, with tactical diffusion being one of the best guns I think we may have ever had. It's one of the most common you get, but it's so incredibly powerful, and it is genuinely a really fun gun to use. And the other one we got, support group, it's fine. Not the best, not the worst either. We also got a new mode with Team Cranked. It felt like an actual decent evolution of the Cranked game mode, and this had a focus on high rounds, actually giving you gobblegums as a reward for getting to those rounds. And I know this is less of a feature and more of a glitch, but there was also something that popped up that allowed us to use Slipstream and Close Shave in Zombies, effectively giving us the option to have classic knifing or the ability to have no tack sprint in Zombies. And playing with either of these made the mode just feel so much more fun. But of course, it all couldn't just be good. We also took some steps back, with Shattered Veil actually lacking pretty heavily in the Easter egg department, and this severely hurt the map's replayability for a lot of people. In Double Tap, while fun, it wasn't necessarily really balanced, making some of the older boss fights insanely easy. And you know that cool glitch that I was talking about that gave us features we've been asking for the entirety of this game? Yeah, they patched that. And you know that new cool mode, Team Cranked? Yeah, that was in the game for maybe a few weeks. In the season before, I called this out with the previous version of Cranked being an LTM, and I got so much shit from it. People saying, oh god, it's gonna stay in the game, it's coming back next season. Yeah, it came back for like 3 weeks and now it's been gone ever since. It's like it's still a problem. An LTM means the mode, good or bad, will be removed. That sucks, and honestly no one should be defending this. Even the previous COD multiplayer director agrees that this is a horrible practice. Alright, there's some stinky stuff here, but don't get worried, we've got a mid-season update that is on the way to make up for some of those shortcomings. And actually with the mid-season we saw some pretty cool stuff. We got the Ray Gun Mark II added to all the maps, and this retroactively makes everything in the game really fun again to experience with that new weapon. It makes maps that have heavy boss spam feel a lot more playable. And there's also finally now a reason to hit the box. And we also saw a surprise update to Shattered Veil's worst Easter egg, making it actually really good. And while they're still not the best overall, this definitely helps make up for things a little bit. But then of course, we take a step back. One of the biggest critiques of Shattered Veil that was never addressed was the lack of a unique equipment side Easter egg. And you know what, maybe they just didn't have enough time or resources, guys. Yeah, except for the fact that we then got a Chaos bundle added to the shop with the homunculus there. Literally, the one piece of Chaos equipment that was on every single map in the box. But no, instead of adding it to the map, it is just a thing that you pay for in the shop for an emote. I know everybody wanted the Ether Blade from MWZ for this, but this was literally added into the game just in the shop. And then we had a Gobblegum update, taking the cooldown from 5 minutes to 10 seconds. And this change made me hate the Gobblegum system in this game even more. We already spawned with 3 of these, and then now there's literally 0 risk and reward here with the machine. It's just you get what you want. You can quite literally have exactly the Gobblegums that you want at all times throughout the entirety of your match. BO3 already solved this issue with being able to respawn during a round by spending points. That's all you had to do. And hey, we had a new score streak, the Death Machine. And yeah, it's just another score streak we had in Cold War Zombies, and it doesn't really fill any niche that wasn't already done by the hand cannon or the War Machine or the Mutant Injection. I love the Death Machine. It is a staple of COD Zombies, but this is something that should have been there at launch. And speaking of which, the new specialist. It's Frost Blast. This is just downright stupid. It's just like the Death Machine, there is no gameplay scenario that this now fills. It is just something that literally all the other ones that we already have do anything this could do, but better. If you want protection, use Ether Shroud. If you want to kill stuff, use like an energy mine or something. And the worst part, It says Frost Blast! You know, the field upgrade that was in Cold War's launch 5 years ago, and then Vanguard Zombies launch, and then MWZ, and now here in Black Ops 6, not at launch, but being drip-fed to us in the 3rd season of content. And while Cranked might be gone, we got a new game mode for you here, Zombie Snacks. And if this were one of those shitty YouTube short ranking videos, I'd be playing the clip of my boy Dwayne saying,
"It's the biggest piece of dog shit."
Yeah, we got a corporate crossover event with Joe Rogan. Cool. You have to like eat food and shit, I guess. I don't know, you get like a damage boost from it. But to the average player, this shit was ass. And even with that said, I still think it should stay in the game. What's the point in putting all these resources into a mode like this just to remove it? And yeah, all of this was on top of an update that once again broke the game and made the mystery box practically unusable for weeks, as you could only get a certain handful of guns from the box, making those like me who are supposed to just not use the loadout system if we don't like it, make the game far less enjoyable for weeks. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel, guys. Season 4 is coming, and it's gonna save us with a brand new map and pick up right where things left off. And yeah, towards the end of Season 3, we quickly realized that we were not getting a new map for Season 4, which is honestly fine. We've gotten one every single season. We can take a gap. Because hey, we know we're gonna be getting one with Season 5 and Season 6 then, so no worries. But what would we get? Well, Treyarch dropped this bad boy on Twitter. After 10 years, Grief is back. With it now being Sam versus Richtofen, having these new objectives here to spice things up, 11 map variations compared to the 3 we had in Black Ops 2, and it's not even an LTM, but a permanent game mode. It looked to be a slam dunk. And aside from Grief, we also got news that we were finally getting a random operator feature, which is so nice because we can finally randomize our crew operator. This is way too late, it should have been there at launch, but it's better late than never. And we also learned we were getting 2 new modes, one with kind of like a beefed up abomination, and the other being one of the most requested modes we've ever asked for in the history of COD Zombies, a starting room challenge. If you've been around for a while, you know ever since the days of like Black Ops 1, we have been begging for something like this to be added to the game, and it's finally here. Even without a new map, this season seemed to be really solid. But hey, this is Black Ops 6 Zombies, so there's always, and I mean always, a catch. And this is where we once again take a step back. And I think we gotta start off with Grief. Well, let's get the elephant out of the room first. There is no private matches. This was a huge surprise to literally anyone who played the original Grief mode, as they would tell you this was one of the best things about it. And what was weird is that Treyarch didn't tell anyone about this. We even had YouTubers who played the mode early, like NoahJ456, talking in his videos that he was excited to have private matches and just play with his friends in an 8-player game of zombies. Even the people who played this game early were under the impression that this was gonna be a thing. That was until launch day, they pulled the rug from under us, and there was nothing. And everyone who grew up with this mode was met with disappointment. And yeah, we as YouTubers had a lot of fun stuff planned. You know, 4v4s with all of your favorite creators kind of playing together, facing off, potential challenge videos, and we were even gonna incorporate it into this year's Zombies for Charity event. And actually, speaking of real quick, I just want to say that I'm actually a part of Zombies for Charity this year. And so hey, if you want to watch me and my team face off against a bunch of other creators here for charity, keep your eyes out on July 19th for the main show. Psst, hey, maybe like, stop by and donate some money, I don't know. But yeah, all that out the window. Yes, YouTubers not being able to make content is not the end of the world, but this does affect the average player. 1v1s, 2v2s, 3v3s, maybe even doing a no squad fill challenge and trying to 1v4 a team, 5 to 8 player games of zombies with your friends, and even just hopping in with maybe one friend on these maps just to make them like a little survival map experience. All of this potential gone. And what made this even worse is that at launch, this mode was completely and utterly unbalanced. There was no wonder weapons, there was gobblegums enabled, and completely unchanged modern systems. And with no wonder weapons, this just sucks. OG Grief had them, and it worked fine. Yes, that mode wasn't perfect as a whole, but this was not a problem. They said they did it to avoid one player with a wonder weapon hoarding all the points. Where on the other hand, you can spawn in with a fucking perkaholic round 1, netting you instantly 55,000 points worth of perks. Wonder weapons take time, points, and luck to get. They should just be incorporated in this mode. It's a part of zombies, even if it's just like a drop. The mode without them just feels hollow. And the gobblegums. This is straight ass. It's pay to win, hook, line, and sinker. This is no longer a PvE mode. It's PvP, and quite literally you can pay for an insane advantage that, yeah, you also spawn with. These should not be in the mode at all, if not heavily restricted, and at launch, almost nothing was actually restricted. And we had other modern systems that were just completely untouched, and this resulted in metaguns that made players pissed off, like flame round shotguns and Cali sticks, which if this wasn't enabled, you'd just have to spend for the box, and it would be far less common. And speaking of which, launch, because we had this meta of the Kali sticks with the loadouts, there was a bunch of drama with people just spamming them because they were so fast to hit. And on the receiving end, it made the game almost unplayable. This was not how it was in Black Ops 2. It was clearly just visually obnoxious and just poorly designed. Yes, there's ways to get out of it, but that doesn't make it an actual well-designed feature. And we also had zombies damage scaling, starting off with the normal amount of nerfed damage that zombies do in round-based. But this is not round-based. We have the Wonder Fizz here in our spawn, no doors to open, round 1, and as soon as you get the points for it, you can get Jug and double tap, meaning killing the zombies or dying from them at almost any point there early on in the game was almost impossible. And speaking of which, the get out of jail free cards. This is where the foundation of Black Ops 6 Zombies just feels like it's crumbling. You got reactive armor from Juggernog, you got unlimited 2x ether shrouds, got score streak iframes, 3 dying wish quick revive uses, 3 self revives, gobblegums like anywhere but here, shields up. You even start with a perkaholic, and that's not even taking into account this stuff that your team can use like Team Ether Shroud, Healing Aura, Phoenix up, nowhere but there, near death experience. You just could not die. And all those quote unquote griefs we had to potentially get us to down, yeah, they did nothing. Whether you get frozen, you get a weapon nerf, or you get a zombie ambush, all you have to do is just use one team Ether Shroud and have your whole team group together. In the ammo drain? Yeah, just go buy more ammo. Oh, but we have the weapon carousel, which is fun. It keeps your pack and rarity level, making it just a fun thing to do. It was literally a gobblegum we used to pay for in Black Ops 3. I actively throw this challenge every single time because it makes the game more fun. And all of these things resulted in games that are genuinely pay to win, generally annoying for hardcore and casual players, and all last absolutely forever. I could poke holes in almost every single core system of this mode at launch, to the point where it genuinely feels like this mode was not playtested, or it was playtested for this game with 0 augments in mind. It just fundamentally did not work upon release. But hey, at least we've got 2 other cool new game modes, guys. And they're all LTMs. So no matter how fun these game modes are, or how much dev time went into these, they're all going to get removed. And this especially feels like a spit in the face for the starting room challenge, something we've been asking for as long as I can remember. We finally get it for a few weeks. That's it. And for both of these modes, they actually added a cell shaded effect to it. You know the thing that we used to have in Black Ops 4 Zombies at launch as a permanent feature? Yep, that's being given back to us, but instead of being a permanent feature like its original version, it's now locked away behind a limited time mode that is bound to vanish forever. Along with Season 4, we also launched with ads in the Create a class. Guys, there's no defending this. Whether it was or wasn't an accidental internal test that went live, like they supposedly say it was, this should have never been even tested in the first place. This is some shit we would see in a mobile game. And hey, you know how everyone's been complaining about the fact we're getting very little new enemies here in Black Ops 6 Zombies? Cool ass enemy design that's perfect for a zombies map here. Nope, it's in the shop. But guys, we got the addition of a brand new ammo mod here at launch. But it's Shatterblast, what we had in Cold War Zombies and MWZ. And it wasn't even there at launch, it was pushed back for 3 weeks for no reason, with no communication, and it's ass. But hey, we got the Grim Reaper, which is kinda cool, but again, just like the Death Machine, it doesn't fill any other niche that had already been done by any other score streak in the game. And thankfully, we did actually see some updates to Grief, but it was too little, too late. With the first round of updates, we saw a reduced melee stun and flinch effect, and an increase to the field upgrade charge time, then a second round that increased the zombie speed and hit damage from the start, reduced the amount of salvage, limited self-revives to 1 per person, and made the chopper gunner and mutant injection no longer drop from elites. And then now we're having a third round here with more punishing Grief effects, more gobblegum bans for revive gums, faster zombie spawns after objectives, and a whimsical reward for those who don't finish matches, which says literally nothing about people leaving the matches because nobody cares about whimsicals. Now I do want to say these changes are really good, and they genuinely make the mode a lot better, even if it's still not perfect. But it's just too little, too late. This is how the mode should have been at launch, not 1 month later. Hell, anyone would have known that after playing 1 game of Grief. And the fact that we're on our 3rd or 4th round of changes in this mode, and we're just now getting to ban revive gobblegums is insane. From here on, yeah, the mode is in a far better spot. But there's already so many who are already turned off of this mode for it taking over a month to get to where it's decent. And no matter how many changes we get, we still have no private game option, making one of Grief's best features absolutely non-existent. With all that said, then comes the nail in the coffin for those upset with this game, squashing that little bit of hope that they had left and retroactively soiling the legacy of Black Ops 6 Zombies. This season gets extended. And what this did was effectively leave 0 room for a 5th map. One that had been rumored by leakers for months and seemed almost inevitable due to the release schedule. We had DLC 2 in January, how could we not? And yeah, this was later confirmed by Treyarch for the next map to be the final one from Black Ops 6 Zombies. And now looking back at things, this makes the Tomb, what people used to call a filler or bonus map, to now be this map's true DLC 2, making it one of the worst excuses for a DLC map in Treyarch history. And this was something I talked about months ago. We could never say one way or the other whether the tomb was good or not because we had no confirmation on a DLC 5. So people had to just kind of pick one or the other and kind of run with it. And now we've got fans who were actually hopeful at the time of its release now looking back at the map in disappointment. And this also makes the amount of reused wonder weapons and enemies feel even worse now, as we've got only one map left to actually give us a new enemy or a wonder weapon. And so with all of this going down over the past few months, with a lot of people now feeling incredibly disappointed in Black Ops 6 Zombies and the potential future of the mode, we then get hit with this post. And this had people losing their minds. And on one hand, I get it. After all the stuff that we've gone through over these past few months, how could you not be upset at just seeing something goofy like this? But when you think about it, these goofy things have always been here in Zombies. And hell, us as a community has always loved them. We had fourth wall breaking jokes, vending machines with goofy jingles telling us why we should buy them, and some of the most insane out there shit I've ever seen in a video game. This stuff has always been there. But the game always still felt like Zombies at its core. We always had a dedicated crew. We had phenomenal intro cutscenes that set up the maps and our characters. And we had that core foundation of gameplay. No matter when or where we were, it was always tense with a focus on survival. It's why back in the day, something like Cheese Cube was loved by the community. But if Treyarch were to put something like that out now, people would hate it. And the same goes for these goofy characters. That was something people used to go out of their way to mod into Zombies. And so it's not these things that are the real problem here, but instead everything surrounding it. We've got a crew that's currently being sidelined with very little to no development whatsoever, and we don't even get intro cutscenes with them anymore. And you never even get to see those interactions from the characters like we did back in the day, as randoms are almost always playing as operators or a duplicate of the crew member you currently are. And from round one, you're more powerful than the zombies, and it just escalates from there. So yeah, seeing these cash grab crossover event characters just shoved in front of us in marketing material instead of the actual crew of the game that's been shafted all year just doesn't feel right. And the idea behind all this cel-shaded stuff is cool. Hell, it's something we praised Black Ops 4 Zombies for years ago. But it's the fact that we've got all this other bullshit going on and the fact that it's a limited time mode for no reason. And that just makes an otherwise cool and fun thing something that's so easy to dogpile on with all this pent up frustration. And so now, looking forward into Season 5, we have one Zombies map left that now has these absolutely insane expectations I don't think they can meet. People are expecting all these new wonder weapons, new enemies, new gameplay, and then potentially having to rush through all of the story beats they have left for this game, or else we're just going to end up with a game that just sets up a whole lot of setup and pretty much no payoff. And it's even harder to be excited for that next map with Black Ops 7 Zombies already being teased. And the thing is, it just feels like there's so much more hope and potential for that game. With Black Ops 7 Zombies, it marks the end of the 𝘾𝙤𝙢𝙢𝙀 era, because what we've been playing was never directed by Kevin Drew. Kevin was kind of just the face of it, but now he is that director. And so this is the time of any to finally break away from this current modern Zombies formula. And we've got some crazy potential leaks about there maybe being a classic mode, the OG crew coming back, as well as potentially having an offline mode. And something for that next game that we can finally not worry about anymore is the voice actor strike finally has reached an agreement. So yeah, for this next game, we shouldn't have to worry about our fan favorite characters being replaced. And so with all that said, even taking into account all of the bad stuff we've had happen recently, we still have so much content. We get an ammo mod, a field upgrade, 3 new gums, a new score streak every single season. We get a new perk with every single map, with some of them being all-time fan favorites. We're getting 2 to 3 new modes every single season, even if they only last for a limited time. The newest map we got is one of the best in years. We got the Ray Gun Mark II back added to all the maps. And hey, we're even getting these quality of life updates throughout the seasons, like improving Shattered Vale's side Easter eggs, and slowly but surely making Grief an actual balanced, enjoyable experience. This is all fantastic stuff. And all of this is on top of all the other great stuff we've had here in Black Ops 6 Zombies, like Save and Quit, Black Ops 1 style unique pack-a-punch effects, the Black Ops 3 weapon kit system, augments, a set crew. To say Black Ops 6 Zombies has been awful, or just anywhere even close to the worst we've ever had, is insane to me. Modern Warfare Zombies, Vanguard Zombies, and even Cold War Zombies all had far less content that also varied really heavily in quality. And saying Black Ops 6 Zombies is awful just undermines all the other great stuff the game is doing. This is not the worst state the game mode has ever been in. It's not even close. But that also doesn't mean it's necessarily great either. We cannot just write off people who are criticizing this game, as so much of this is incredibly valid, and we should be criticizing these things, or else Treyarch, or what is most likely Activision, have zero reason to ever change things for the better. When LTM shit like the latest promo image gets put on blast, yeah, it sucks to see all the negativity. but this is most likely going to get us a better product in the future. Literally no one wants shit for a limited time for no reason. If you're going to put resources into the game, make it stay in the game. And hey, maybe don't shove these wacky characters in our faces until we actually get the main crew in a solid spot. An offline mode, we should be complaining until that is added back to the game. Same with the private match options. A classic mode, whether the game at its core plays like classic zombies or not, there should be an option for classic fans. We should not be having drip-fed content that we've had for years just being fed back to us like Frost Blast, Shatter Blast, Tesla Storm, Death Perception. Give that kind of stuff to us at launch or give us something new. We should have unique enemies and equipment here in Zombies instead of in the shop for sale. We should have features we've been begging for all year like the classic melee system and no tac sprint being added as options, instead of relying on a glitch to have access to quality of life features that then gets patched out of the game, making it less fun. We deserve actually polished content that's not underbaked or at least play tested before release. Voice actors deserve to not have their likeness used in AI instead of being replaced. And we need communication. If we were actually told the thought process and reasoning behind certain game design decisions, or an idea of how many maps we'd be getting this year at launch, and literally anything regarding why Grief does not have a private match option in the game, we'd at least somewhat understand. Or hell, it could even prevent a lot of toxicity in the first place. I could keep going on, but this stuff is just unacceptable. I get that a lot of people just want to play the game and enjoy it how it is and not see all this negativity. But the reality is we have to speak out and have these conversations, or else things are never going to change. After complaining about supply drops for years, we finally got rid of them. After begging for classic prestige to return game after game after game, we got it. And hell, we even complained for years about how DLC maps were splitting up the player base and how awful the month-long exclusivity deals was for them. All that, gone. This is not complaining just to complain. We're all doing what we do now to secure everyone a better tomorrow. And so with all that said, I'm curious, what are your current thoughts on Black Ops 6 Zombies? And do you agree or do you disagree with me? Let me know down in the comments. And hey, if you're in the mood for a bit of a pick-me-up, you should go ahead and check out the video on screen now for all of my thoughts on Shattered Veil and why I consider it to be the pinnacle of modern zombies. And that's about it from me. See ya.